Okay, in this video we're going to talk about descent prediction. Now, in order for me to be able to do this on a video for you while I'm not flying, I've had to set a whole bunch of stuff up. So I'll start explaining what I've done so that if you wanted to try and simulate this yourself, you could. Basically, I've got all the flight data that I've saved from I think flight 4 of the Nationals. Gives me the track file, gives me all my flight winds, waypoints and all that sort of stuff. So I've got a judge declared goal here. I've got where I accidentally dropped my marker on the descent. I meant to drop it over here somewhere, which has been explained in another video. I'm still crying about it. I've got an altitude simulator and I've used the history tool. And I've also got the track profile. So for anyone who doesn't know, if you've got a track file, you can go in and open the track profile here. You can expand that and it'll give you the track profile. So this is the beginning of this descent here. We're at about 5,200 feet at that point there. And we go all the way down to here at about 1,800 feet, 1,850 feet was where I rounded this out. And that was basically where I planned to drop my marker. And that was the moment that I realized that I had all got it wrong. Anyhow, so I'll get rid of this and I'll get rid of this because we don't need them, but these just give you some reference points. What I've done with my simulator is I've set myself up, actually if I use the history tool for you now, click there, I'm going to find the point, 5,200 feet, 38 degrees, 30 k's an hour. Now I'm not going to start the speed because I don't want to confuse things while we're talking, but I would normally have the descent prediction tool sitting on my desktop ready to go most of the time. I have it turned off unless I need it, but I have it there so that all I have to do is change it from stop to running and it's ready to go. Quick explanation about this tool. We've got 3 presets for descent rates and it shows you the descent rate that's currently using for the prediction. You've got a plus and a minus button here, mainly used during training so that you can lock in your prediction and then compare it after you've done the descent or after the flight to see how it actually went. If you open the settings here, you've got your preset buttons. You can change those values to anything you want. You have an update rate. You can change to anything you want. I have it set to 2 seconds. The plot points is the maximum number of plot points it's going to do in the prediction. Basically just the accuracy or the fidelity of the prediction. You can change the thickness of your lines, the colors of your lines. So this is your plot line that it's going to be giving you. This is your saved line, which we'll explain later. And you can also change the speed to any number you want here without having to change your presets. So you can set that to 1,600 feet per minute if you really need to know what that looks like. And then anytime you want to go back to a preset, just hit the preset and you're back. Okay, so we've got our altitude simulator set to 5,200 feet. We're offset just a little bit to the side there. We're going to start our altitude simulator. Our navigation simulator is running. And if I start our descent prediction, after a couple of seconds, it will throw that line up. And straight away you're going to see that this pink line here almost perfectly matches my track line. Now this isn't some magic or some trick, this is the reality. This descent tool is scary, scary good. Using these flight winds, it's done the calculations from 5,200 feet and it said this is the path you should follow if you're doing 1,200 feet per minute. Now I know that I was doing about 1,200 feet per minute because that's what I had this set to. And strangely enough, I did exactly that. The amazing thing is that these little bumps actually correlate all the way through the reality and the prediction. That's how accurate it is. So the first thing you need to know about this descent prediction tool, it's only as good as you're flying. And what I mean by that is that if you use a prediction saying 800 feet per minute, you need to be doing 800 feet per minute. If you say 1,200 feet per minute and you want to hit the mark at the end of this, you need to be doing 1,200 feet per minute. So your balloon control is really important to get the most out of this tool. If I change the prediction to 800 feet per minute, you can see that very quickly it runs off and you end up with a much bigger descent. If ever you wanted to have a visual on why a racer is better, a standard balloon doing 800 feet per minute, you're going to do this. A racer doing 1200 feet per minute, you're really tight, you're in here doing this. The difference between here and here is somewhere in the vicinity of 700 meters difference in terms of where you get to the ground. So on that particular day. So what does this look like in reality while we're flying? Well, let's change our simulation point. Let's put the balloon where I wished I was on the morning. So let's say about here somewhere. And we're going to bring our speed up to, not quite that fast, same speed the data was saying we were doing, 30 k's an hour. Start our simulation. And you can see as we fly along here at 30 kilometers per hour, every 2 seconds this line updates and moves down the screen. Now the most important thing to realize is that this prediction is based on you actually doing 1200 feet per minute in this example. If you're flying straight and level at 5200 feet, you're going to have some time to accelerate. So the reality is that now, while I'm this far away from the goal, I would be starting my descent because it's going to take the balloon a bit of time to wind up. You could always go a little bit faster, which is why I don't have this at 1400 feet per minute or 1600 feet per minute. I give myself some leeways. I can go faster if I want, or you can go slower. If you're doing this in training, right as I hit that goal, I would lock in my prediction for the descent and then see how well I do at flying that line. Now, one of the things that's really important with this is to come back, to do this anytime you're practicing, rather. That's the important thing, is to do this anytime you're practicing, come back, have a look at it, see how well you did at flying that line. The other thing you can do is in your track profile, as I said before, have a look at your descents and assess them. You can see my descents during this flight are pretty consistent, nice straight lines, indicating that I was doing pretty well 1200 feet a minute every single time. It doesn't tell you what rate of descent it was, but I know that that's what I was aiming for. And you can see that the balloon doesn't really waver. I managed to pin it on those speeds pretty well all the way through. So critique your own descents, have a look at them, see how you're going, and make adjustments to your flying style as needed. One of the other things that you can do with this, and I'll just reset myself back here again, come over a little bit further, is start your descent running with a slower speed. And this is another way to get yourself up to speed in your descent. So if you start your descent, if it's feasible to start your descent at 800 feet per minute, knowing that you've jumped backwards and forwards, you've gone, okay, well, that's 1200 feet per minute looks like. I really want to be doing 1200 feet per minute because that's going to put me close to the ground over the target. But 800 feet per minute, I know that I need to be into my descent now to get over that target. So jumping backwards and forwards between a slower speed and a higher speed is going to help you set up your descent, figure out when to start it, get a feel for when to start it, and also give yourself time to get down there. The other thing you're going to need to do as an exercise for yourself is figure out how quickly you can get your balloon to accelerate. So have a bit of a play. Understand that if you've got the balloon in a slight climb, it's going to take you much longer to get into a descent. If you're already in a slight descent, it's not going to take you as long. So make sure you understand those parameters as you're coming up to that point and deciding when you're going to descend. The other thing finally with this tool is as soon as you don't need it anymore, turn it off. Okay, this is one of those tools that will cause lag in the whole system. So if you're trying to declare goals or work with waypoints, or you've got tracking data running and stuff like that, this will cause the computer to slow down. So be prepared to turn it off so that you get functionality back in the computer. Likewise, if you've got live tracking running, make sure that you've got it in manual mode so that the screen's not trying to update tracking and descent prediction, and just be ready to turn it on and off as you need it. There you go. It's a fun one. Enjoy it.